Good morning. It's April 24th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Today I want to talk about a problem we have, I think, in our education system. When I was in high school, there were two paths that students followed. The first was the academic path, and that would hopefully lead to a college acceptance and ultimately a degree from that college or university. The second path was the vocational path. These students took classes in things like welding, carpentry, and such. They wanted to develop a skill that they could find work with after graduating from high school. And if I'm being totally honest, it was commonplace for those of us in the academic curriculum to laugh at those in the other path. They were called the shop kids and were looked down upon by those moving on to college. But as I got older, I started to realize that some of those kids were the real smart ones. They developed skills that I did not possess and became tradesmen in many areas. Some of them ultimately started their own business and found greater financial success than many of those that laughed at them as they matriculated to some university. It was during my 4 years in the Army that I really gained an appreciation for certain skills. As I was getting ready to end my term in the Army, they had a program called Project Transition. It was designed to further enhance those leaving the military by teaching them a trade. And I admit that I pounced on this program because it got me off all duty rosters, and I went to carpentry school. My best friend, who had come back from Germany with me, also took advantage of the opportunity to get off duty rosters and learn to lay carpet. Now, I'm not really sure which was the best trade to learn, but I did frame houses for a summer when I went back to graduate school. One thing I quickly learned was as soon as you built a floor in a house, you had to get on top of it so you were out in the sun most of the day. The builder I worked for had us start at 6 in the morning, and we got off at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I'm not sure whether my friend laid any carpet when he went back to Atlanta for grad school himself. My point in this is simple. Young people have been told for decades that achieving the American dream requires a college degree. But as student debt soars to nearly $1.8 trillion, many are wondering whether the dream is dead. As leaders of two of the nation's largest private sector employers, representing about 2 million jobs, we know it isn't. While a college degree is a worthwhile path to prosperity, it isn't the only one. More and more companies are starting to realize that the college degree, while a good thing to pursue, is not as necessary as some thought in the past. It's most common for companies, 41%, to say college degree requirements depend on the job, while a minority, 22%, say all their jobs have a degree as a requirement. As companies deprioritize college degree requirements, they're turning their attention to hiring candidates with the right skill sets. This move could benefit roughly 62% of U.S. workers who don't have a degree. While no degree hiring doesn't apply to jobs that never required a degree, or professions like doctors or lawyers, it would have a big impact on hiring for middle-tier jobs like construction managers, sales supervisors, web developers, cybersecurity, and IT help desk specialists. Walmart, the country's largest private employer, is one company that stands out for its broad efforts to remove education requirements on jobs. The company with 1.6 million employees said it was, quote, rewriting job descriptions for our campus headquarter jobs to factor in the skills people possess alongside any degrees they hold, end quote. This came out in one of their corporate blogs last September. To be considered for the job, you have a related college degree or possess the skills needed for the job, whether through previous experience or other forms of learning. Now, I'm always reminded of a story told to me by former Congressman Ron Packard. He was a dentist before coming to Congress. I'm sure the story was just that, but he used it to make his point. Ron told me that he came home one day and found a leak in his kitchen. Knowing that water running in a house can cause serious damage, he immediately called a plumber. In walked a large man who opened his toolkit and went to work. 20 minutes later, he had found the leak and solved the problem. He then handed Ron a bill for $600. Remember, this was in the 1980s. Ron was shocked. He said, I'm a dentist and I don't get $600 for 20 minutes of work. The plumber just smiled. He said, I didn't either when I was a dentist. Employers should value skills above degrees and recognize that workers can develop skills in many different ways. One is through hourly roles in retail, fast food, or customer service, which have led many into great careers. At Home Depot, 90% of store leaders started as hourly associates. At Walmart, 75% did. These leaders often manage hundreds of people and earn six-figure salaries, plus bonus and stock options. Some have college degrees, others don't. A skill-based approach to employment is critical in a country where 62% of the adults don't have that college degree. Employers should also strive to teach employees new skills after they join. Walmart recently created a program that allows hourly associates to become Walmart truck drivers without having to pay for a CDL driver's license. Drivers earn up to $110,000 their first year. Over at Home Depot, their Orange Method program offers information technology training, meaning an associate there who starts as a cashier or stocker could become a technician, software engineer, or corporate level leader. I focus on this topic today because these young people who learned a skill and went into the workforce did not take out these costly student loans. And it bothers many of them that are now being asked to use their taxes to pay off the loans from the very kids that laughed at them and looked down on them in high school. Doesn't seem fair to me, and it doesn't seem fair to them. It's been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.